Your tank still has gas in it right now. Not a little. Maybe a full gallon sitting there doing nothing while your dash screams empty. That's not a glitch. It's on purpose. And the part doing the lying to you is a piece of tech from the 1920s. Still in your car. Right now, same orange light, same spot on the highway. Every single time you drive this route. You've noticed it. 40 miles left. Same second. Same stretch of road. Almost like the car memorized it. Working out why is most of what we do on the smart side. It didn't. Here's what's actually happening. Your car doesn't know how much fuel is in the tank. It's guessing. And the thing doing the guessing hasn't changed in 100 years. A plastic float, bobbing on gasoline right now, attached to a metal rod. That rod is attached to a resistor. Fuel drops, float drops, resistance changes. A number moves on your dash. General Motors was using this exact setup in the 1920s. Your $40,000 car has it too. So why the same spot every time? Because your tank isn't a box. It's a weird, cramped shape, wide and shallow up top. Then it squeezes into narrow pockets near the bottom, packed around the exhaust and the axle to save space. Up top, you can burn through gallons and the float barely moves. Near the bottom, 1 gallon, and it drops fast. Engineers use that. They tune the light to fire at a repeatable point, usually with 10 to 15% of the tank left. That's reveal 1. Here's the bigger one. Empty isn't empty. Automakers build in a hidden reserve below where the gauge hits 0. It has a name: reserve fuel. It's not a rumor. It's a line item in the engineering spec. Why hide gas from you? Because your fuel pump sits inside the tank now, submerged, and it needs gasoline around it to stay cool. Run it dry too many times and it burns out, and that's a $500 repair. So car makers bury a buffer down there, usually 1 to 3 gallons, to protect the pump from you, not to help you. Do the math. A typical sedan holds 14 gallons. The light comes on around 1.5 to 2 gallons left. Below that sits another gallon of untouched reserve. So when your dash screams empty, you're often still carrying 5 to 10% of a full tank. Sitting there, on purpose. Never meant to be trusted. If that just changed how you read your own dashboard, hit like now, because the next part explains why the gauge gets twitchy right before it dies, and that one's even weirder. Here's the twist. That float lives down in the narrow, cramped bottom of the tank. Every time you brake hard, turn a corner, or climb a hill, gas sloshes around it. So near empty, the reading is genuinely unstable. The float's getting knocked around by physics, not just measuring fuel. Automakers know this. That's exactly why the warning is one hard trigger point instead of a smooth countdown. A smooth countdown would flicker and jump and make you panic for no reason. The single light is covering for bad data, not giving you clean data. Some newer cars try to fix this with software, blending in your speed, your acceleration, even elevation, to estimate range instead of trusting the float alone. Tesla does this. So do a lot of new trucks. But strip away the software, and the float is almost always still down there. Same rod, same resistor, same job it did a century ago. Here's one more thing most drivers never think about. That reserve gallon isn't the same in every car. A hybrid with a tiny tank might only hide half a gallon. Same warning light. Wildly different truth underneath it, depending on what you drive. So the light isn't lying to you, and it isn't reading your mind either. It's a 100-year-old float, sitting in a tank shaped like a Tetris piece, trying to warn you early enough that a submerged pump never gulps air instead of gasoline. Subscribe now, because next week we're opening up something in your kitchen that's been quietly lying to you too. Next time that orange light clicks on, in the same spot, on the same stretch of road, you'll know what's really going on down there. It's not counting to zero. It's afloat in a narrow metal pocket, sitting on more gas than it's willing to admit.